You're listening to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and here we discuss topics on personal fitness, well-being, and elevation of mind and body. Join us as we help build and grow a community of real, elevated men and women. If you're currently feeling frustrated, flat, and fed up with life, or want to be a physically and mentally elevated individual, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Elevation podcast. Welcome to the RE family and get ready to elevate your mind and body. Welcome to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative, and elevating show for you. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all first-time listeners to the show, and be sure to stay to the end, where I will share with you all my social media links so we can connect as we grow the Real Elevation podcast community. I hope you are well wherever you are in this present moment in time, and thank you for tuning in. Now, when you find yourself stuck in a rut and you're not making progress towards your goals, it's very easy to get discouraged, frustrated, and often maybe even give up. And I know this is a position that many people can experience. I've been in that situation myself. Now, what do you do when you find yourself in that particular situation? If you have ever been in that situation, well, the great news, I'm going to help you out today, because we are discussing what you can do to avoid finding that frustration and feeling discouraged. So today's topic is what to do when things aren't working out. 3 steps to guarantee you get your goals. So what to do when things aren't working out. 3 essential steps to guarantee you get your goals. Now let's be honest, we often understand that things don't always go according to plan. We may have a goal, we may have a desire, we may have a dream, but as we set off on that journey to achieve or to reach that particular goal or dream, things don't go according to the way we thought. So the question is what we do when that situation occurs. It's essential to realize, to think about things, maybe doing it differently. So I'm going to give you 3 essential tips that you can do to navigate through those difficult times or those challenging times when things aren't going according to plan. So, number 1, reflect and reassess. Reflect and reassess. Now, you've often heard me say that if you're not assessing, you're guessing. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why that when I'm working with my clients, we go through a very extensive question and answer assessment protocol. We go through many different questionnaires, health appraisals, lifestyle overviews, health checks, posture analysis, movement screens. This is all to glean information about the client and in terms of where they are. Because the more information we have on that person's ability, health, mental state, the more we are armed with the right information to make informed decisions moving forward. So we always need to think about reassessing if we haven't made the progress that we'd like to see. So it's important that you understand that it's not just down to things going wrong. We also need to monitor, measure, and assess to make sure that we're doing the right things according to what we want to see achieved in our lives and what sort of progress we want to see, what sort of developments we want to see. We need to assess. So, number 1 is reflect and reassess. When you assess and reflect, it allows you to make one of those choices you've often heard me talk about. You heard me talk about the 3 choices before. Choice number 1 is the optimal choice. So that would be doing something that is beneficial for both you and your dream team, so the people that are important in your life. The second choice would be called the suboptimal choice. So that would be something that would be making a decision that maybe is not right for everyone in your dream team. And an example could be regarding your career or job. If you're a family person and you get an opportunity to go work abroad, a very lucrative opportunity, that might be good for you, but moving your family away from their friends or taking them out of school might not be best for them. So that would be the second choice, a suboptimal choice. Good for you, but maybe not right for everyone else. And then the third choice would be to do nothing. Just to make a decision that you're not going to do anything, you're not going to make a choice one way or the other, or you could be saying that is indifferent. When you assess, when you look, when you reflect, you can make one of those three choices. Now, that choice that you make will allow you then to make some form of progress, even if it's indifference or doing nothing. The fact is, you have that opportunity, you're giving yourself that space to make an informed decision. So that's the power and that's the importance of making sure that you're assessing and reassessing as you're moving towards your desire and towards your goal. One of the things I often encourage my clients or the people that I work with to do is to keep a journal and track what they've been doing. So this includes things such as their workouts. They can do that via an app or write things down, their meals, make notes of how they've been feeling physically and mentally when they've been doing certain things like exercise or following a particular eating pattern. This can provide valuable insights into what's working and what's not working. So it's helping you to build upon that initial information that you've got from the assessments, keeping track and monitoring, looking at measuring and looking at things that are saying, well, you know what, that worked for me, or actually that didn't work for me. So getting to that mindset of reflecting, reassessing, tracking, monitoring, measuring is going to help you avoid feeling that frustration, getting discouraged, because you can make those major or minor adjustments as you move towards your specific goal. Secondly, number 2, set SMART goals. Now, it may be that you need to reevaluate your fitness goals and make sure that they are using that SMART acronym. We've all heard that SMART acronym before when it comes to setting out specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Break down your long-term goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. So it's very easy to get sucked into and just follow the norm in terms of this is what you should be doing. But one thing I do ask my clients to really dive deep into and think about over a period of time is, what is their true North Star? What is it that their big dream or their big idea is? Because when we're following that big dream, when we have a big dream, a big desire, we're more likely to make the changes. We're going to behave in a way that's going to be pulling us towards that North Star. Now, very often we do get caught into following dreams, doing things that maybe not really lights our fire, and we just think it's the thing to do, so we kind of move along. But because it's not really lighting our fire, because it's not really giving us that burning desire to achieve, we're not making the changes, we're not behaving in a way that's in alignment with that, and as a result, things don't go well, we get frustrated, and sometimes we can even give up. So it's understanding that your goals need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, and relevant, which is key, relevant to you, and also time-bound. I can give you an example for myself when I was working with a particular business coach a few years back. And obviously, running a business I was at the time, I wanted to improve and grow my business and get the name of Optimum Health, as it was called back then, out there. So paid this coach a lot of money, and he was talking about achieving a goal of £150,000 year revenue. Now, it sounded great. Who wouldn't not want to achieve £150,000 in annual revenue? That sounds fantastic. But for me, when I dug deep, that wasn't really something I believed I could achieve. It wasn't something that, when I broke it down at the time, I really wanted to do. All I wanted to do is get myself and my business in a position where I was having regular, recurring monthly income and not having this feast and famine situation, which I often encountered on a monthly basis. That's what I really wanted to do, having that goal of £150,000. Many other people who were working in the group wanted to achieve that, which is fair play, but it wasn't really my goal. And as a result, I didn't really believe it. And when you don't really believe things, that's reflected in your behaviors and your actions. So it's important that you have something that's relevant to yourself. So setting smart goals, focusing on progress and not perfection, and celebrating those small victories. All these things are going to help you move towards your goals, and it's going to stop you encountering and feeling that frustration because things aren't going well, because you're going to be taking action. You're going to be doing things that are going to be right for you. Celebrate those small wins. Celebrate those little bits of progress. As I said, focusing on progress and not perfection. You know, it's lifting heavier weights. Is it running a little bit faster than you did before? Or is it sticking to a little meal plan or diet plan that you've had? Celebrate those little things. Recognize that you're making progress. Give yourself that virtual or even real pat on the back and say, you know what, I've done that this week. I've done that really well. That's gone well for me. That's moving me towards those goals. That's moving me towards my ideal. It's getting me in the direction of where ultimately I want to achieve. Setting those smart goals, sticking to those, is going to help you achieve and avoid that frustration. Number 3, live in the end. Now, I know this is a big mental shift that many people, when I speak to them, haven't really grasped the concept of. So I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail about it today, but when we set out to achieve a specific goal, we have to shift our mentality to believe that that goal, that desire, that objective has already been met. Now, it sounds a little bit abstract, but let me explain. When you believe and begin to live in the end, your whole behavior changes, your whole outlook changes. So, when you're feeling frustrated, when you're feeling a little fed up, when you feel that you're not making those strides towards that specific goal, start to look at shifting your mindset and thinking about the beginning starts with the end. How would you behave if your goal was already achieved? How would you behave if you was already at your set goal, your set objective? When you begin to have a look at life or through your perspective or your beliefs through that lens, your behavior begins to change. And I'll give you an example. When I set out a few years back now, you maybe heard me talk about having my own boutique fitness and wellbeing studio. This is something that I had as a goal, something I wanted to achieve, something that I wanted to experience in my life. When I was looking at it from someone who wanted to do that, I was having different challenges. I was thinking about what's it going to look like, what am I going to do, where is it going to be. However, when I started to shift my mentality and behave as if someone who already had the business, who already had the premises, my behavior changed. I started speaking with solicitors, I started speaking with property owners, I started speaking about how much it's going to cost, what sort of overheads am I going to have to meet. My mentality changed it. Instead of looking at it from someone who wanted to have a boutique fitness studio, I shifted my mentality to someone who had. And the conversations I had changed, my circumstances changed. Synchronicity started happening in my experience in my life because I had shifted my mentality. So if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling a bit fed up, you're feeling a little bit lacking in terms of you not seeing the goals, you're not seeing the progress that you'd wish to see, maybe it's time to have a think about living in the end. Living in the end changes your behavior, changes your beliefs, and that beliefs change your perceptions, and your perceptions will then have a direct influence on your experience. This concept of living in the end is not often or commonly spoken about amongst fitness and well-being and nutritional coaches, and it's something that we go into detail on a number of the coaching programs that I offer, included the Real Rejuvenation program. I'll leave a link in the description so you can find out a little bit more about that. But it's something I believe from my own personal experience and sharing this with many different clients, when they've applied this practice, this understanding, this knowledge, this elevation of awareness, they've seen huge changes in their life. So if you're finding it a little bit frustrating at the moment, you're not seeing the goals that you've set out to achieve being reached, living in the end can really have a massive impact on the way you experience your life and also achieve these specific goals. So number 3, live in the end. If you'd like to take your own personal responsibility and find out a little bit more about this, I'll leave a link in the description of the books that have helped me raise my understanding about this concept. And there's something that's been taught by a great teacher that I study quite extensively, and that is Neville Goddard. He's written a range of books. Some I'm sure that you will find very insightful and very powerful, books such as Feeling is the Secret, Freedom for All, Out of This World, The Power of Awareness. They're just some of the books that I've studied and read and helped me to really understand and grasp this concept about living in the end. So I will leave a link in the description, in the show notes, so you can go check those out and understand in a little bit more detail about why living in the end is a really powerful mental shift that you can apply to stop you feeling frustrated, feeling fed up, and really get you on that track to reaching your specific well-being and fitness goals. So we're talking about today what to do when things aren't working out. 3 essential steps to guarantee you get your goals. Now, before we go for a recap, I just want to share with you my social media links. As you know, we're on a mission here to spread the word of finding freedom through fitness and elevation of mind and body here at the Real Rejuvenation community. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Just type in Mike Hendricks. You'll find me there. Also for Facebook, you'll find me under the name Mike Hendricks. On Instagram, you'll see me under the handle of Hendricks Holistic 44. And I'm inviting you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Hendricks Holistic Fitness. Just type in that in the search bar and you'll find all the good stuff that we're sharing over on YouTube. Also, before I forget, our brand new learning portal is now up and live. So why not head over and get yourself your free account? Just head over to bit.ly Real Elevation Learning Portal and you'll find you can sign up, get your own free account and start learning and taking on some great brand new cutting edge scientific backed information and elevate your understanding of health, well-being and fitness. I'll leave a link again in the show notes, but head over to our Elevation Learning Portal, link in the description and the show notes. Get your free account, start learning and elevating mind and body. So we are sharing with you today what to do when things aren't working out. 3 essential steps to guarantee you get your goals. Now we spoke about number 1, reflect and reassess. Always important to assess, measure, track exactly what it is that you're doing, and then you can make those major or minor adjustments to help you keep moving and making strides towards your goals. Number 2, we talked about setting SMART goals, making sure that your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, which we spoke about, which is a very important point. Are they relevant towards your dream, your ideal, and also time bound as well? Number 3, we spoke about live in the end, concept that many people don't talk about, many people are not aware of, but I've shared with you just the beginning to raise your understanding about when you begin to believe that your goal is already achieved, when you begin to understand that what you desire is already done, it changes your beliefs, changes your behaviors, changes your perceptions, and it changes your experience. And number 4, I'm going to give you a bonus, and that is when you're feeling frustrated, when you feel that things aren't working out, number 4 bonus step that you can take, seek support and accountability. Now, obviously, I'm going to advocate this, I'm going to promote this because I'm a holistic fitness and well-being coach, and I understand the value and the importance and the great amount of empowerment that you receive when you work with a coach. When you get someone to give you support, seek accountability, seek coaching, seek advice. Is always going to help you to move forward much more efficiently and much more effectively. Don't hesitate to reach out for support when you need it. Whether it's joining a fitness community, a group, hiring a personal trainer, finding a coach like myself, finding even just something simple as a workout buddy, someone that you can go to the gym with or go out for walks with or go out running with, whatever it is that you want to do in terms of your objective. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals can provide motivation, accountability, and encouragement to make you continue taking those small steps, taking those big steps, taking those strides towards your goals. Be honest with yourself. And people around you will often be honest with yourself as well. Talk about your struggles. Talk about your challenges. You know the saying, you've heard it said many times before, a problem shared is a problem halved. When we talk about our frustrations, when we talk about our struggles, it's always easier when we share that with someone else. Yeah, they may not have a solution, but just having that ear that you can lean on, someone that's going to say, you know what, I understand what you're saying. I can empathize with you. I can sympathize with you. Remember that progress takes time and it takes patience. And when you've got someone there, whether it's a coach, a friend, family member, someone there that's going to support you, keep you honest, keep you moving in direction, give you that little bit of a nudge when you don't feel like it, because there are going to be days when you don't feel like it, you're more likely to achieve a goal. That stat that I like to share with clients that I was working with in the past, talking to them about potentially working with myself as a personal trainer as I was at the time. People are 79% more likely to achieve their goals when working with a trainer as opposed to trying to do it by themselves. 79%. Think about 79%. It's a large chunk, yeah? So when you're working with a qualified fitness professional, personal trainer, your likelihood of achieving your goal goes up by 79%. So just think about that for a moment. So, in conclusion, when things aren't going right, when things aren't going well, because they will, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything's just going to go smoothly. You are going to hit frustrations. You are going to hit times when you're feeling like giving up. If you can think about these 3 plus this 4th bonus step that I've talked about, seeking support, living in the end, setting yourself smart goals, and reflecting and reassessing on your goals, you're less likely to stop. But when those hurdles do present themselves, you now have knowledge, understanding, you're armed with information of 4 powerful steps that you can apply that's going to help you to achieve and overcome those obstacles, those hurdles that may be in your way. But, as I always like to do, I want to ask, do you think you can apply these 4 steps? Is it something that you can definitely look to do as you move towards elevating your fitness, your well-being, and the quality of life as you upskill and upgrade your well-being and fitness ability? Reach out to me. Let me know. As I mentioned to you before, you can connect with me at LinkedIn at Mike Hendricks, on Facebook at Mike Hendricks, on Instagram you can find me at the handle Hendricks Holistic 44. On YouTube, just search for Hendricks Holistic Fitness. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to leave a link in the show note to our Real Elevation Learning Portal. You can head over there, get your free learning account, and find out and access some real powerful information. All right, guys, thank you again for joining me today. I really appreciate you lending me your ear again. And remember, share this with your community. Share this with your circle of influence as we continue to grow the Real Elevation community. Without you, this would not be possible. So I just want to say a real big thank you and continue to do that because it is truly, really appreciated. All right, guys, until next time, remember, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Blessings and chi. Peace.